Welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me for this show is Debashish Sen. Shamik will also join us. So will Naman Suri from outside of the BCCI headquarters, and others will join us as well. So we've got a lot of people that will join us soon. But on the other hand, what we are looking at, and I will show you guys the visuals. Ajit Agarkar and the rest of the selectors have entered the BCCI headquarter buildings, and as BCCI has also posted on their own handle, the meeting is underway. So there we go. Those are the visuals. That's Ajit Agarkar entering the BCCI headquarters. They have a huge task at hand from here on. This is one of the most important series that you could possibly have for the Indian team. The beginning of the WTC cycle. It's England versus India, and you have a new team at hand. So, Debashish, over to you first. This is a huge task that the selectors have on their hands. Tell us about it. What are you expecting today?
Yeah, obviously, those are the five men. Those are the men who matters the most. I mean, the skill that you just flashed on the screen, obviously, and a lot will depend as to what exactly the thought process is before picking the side for that series against England. Yes, obviously, the biggest consensus will be who the captain will be. Obviously, there has been talks. Obviously, Shubman Gill is the front runner. Rishabh Pant is touted to be the vice captain, but you never know. You never know. Means as Shomik quite often says that it has been in the past that the selectors have picked a captain and just as the selection committee ended, then you have a new captain that whose name is announced in public. So yes, a lot to think. Obviously, we are just half an hour away from the press conference of Ajit Agarkar and Gautam Gambhir. Both of them are right now at the BCCI headquarters. So fingers crossed. Let's hope that the selectors put up a very strong side, because England is one country where we have last won a series back in 2007.
Oh, absolutely. And when it comes to the captain, Debashish, what are your predictions?
Yeah, going obviously, I will also predict that Shubman Gill is currently the front runner, and most likely he's going to be the captain for India in that test in a longer format. Yeah, but what would be interesting for me whether Rishabh Pant gets the vice captaincy or someone like a KL Rahul or Jasprit Bumrah who has the experience. Will they be named the vice captain? Because obviously then they could help be a helping hand for Shubman Gill when the situation is out of obvious when there is difficult times, then you can bank on a Jasprit Bumrah or a KL Rahul to come and give their inputs, share their inputs.
Absolutely. There are some comments here. Actually, a lot of criticism here for Shubman Gill, Debashish, which is quite interesting to see, because, and we understand where the public is coming from, but obviously selectors know better than us. And if they are trusting Gill with the captaincy, there must be some abilities that they have seen in Shubman Gill. And as we all know, Shubman Gill has been in leadership, in leadership positions since the very start of his career. Be it India under 19, be it the Duleep Trophy, be it his IPL career as well. Shubman Gill has always been seen as a leader, and he does have a lot of favor in the dressing room as well. Young kids love him, and younger players in the team love him. They regard him as a good man manager and all of that. But do you think with the point that Shubman Gill has not performed in Sena countries, is it a huge concern, or do you believe in Shubman Gill's abilities to go ahead and score runs?
That doesn't necessarily be that he has not done well in Sena country. It means that he won't do well in England. Means obviously, and obviously with an added responsibility, you never know. He can produce his best. Obviously, his best score in Sena countries happens to be the 91 he scored against Australia in BGT. But yes, don't go by the records, his previous records in Sena countries. Yes, he is a lot more matured, and this what the selectors I feel would be looking upon is his calm demeanor, and tactical nuances. Obviously, he has led Gujarat Titans very well, and that to me, and he's a certainty across the format. So I think that might pave his way to be the Test captains when you are looking at a longer way.
Shamik and Bharat have also joined us. Some We are looking forward to the announcement. I think we're all pretty, if not anxious, but we're all excited to see what squad pops up. And I will play the likely 11 that we might see. For now, I'll read out the names, and you guys can tell me if you have something similar in mind. But if I'm looking at a probable squad for the England tour, I'm seeing Shubman Gill as the captain, Rishabh Pant as the vice captain, KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sai Sudarshan, Karun Nair, Ravindra Jadeja, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Shardul Thakur, Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, either a Harshit Rana or a Prasidh Krishna, a Washington Sundar, and Arshdeep Singh or Anshul Kamboj. Shamik, are you also looking at a similar probable 15-16 squad?
Sort of similar, Gargi, yes. And we have to keep an eye on what the selectors do with Mohammad Shami. That is a big thing with the Shami, because the fact of the matter is that, we know Shami, there is a medical report from the BCCI medical team that he cannot bowl for more than 10 overs a day. That is a problem. Then again, I spoke to Bengal captain Anushtu Majumdar yesterday, under whom Shami played the Ranji Trophy games, and he believes that, even after on his return to first class cricket after a year long hiatus, Shami in his first game in the second innings went on to bowl an 8 over spell, and he was untroubled. He looked untroubled. So I don't know, when Bumrah is not going to play 5 tests, a rotation between the two pace spearhead could be an option. It's a big call the selection committee will have to take, because given Shami's pedigree and his class, you cannot buy class in supermarket. And without him, it is once again solely on Bumrah. So we have to see what is the thought process for the selection committee. But this is going to be very interesting. And as usual, I expect a one or two left field choices. Usually, in a tour like that, selectors, if you go by history, selectors have always come up with one or two left field choices. I don't know whether it will happen this time or not. Also, we have to keep an eye on vice captaincy. Who gets the vice captaincy? That is also something we need to keep an eye on. But I think it's about another half an hour or so, 45 minutes or so, and they will pull the duvet up on all the suspense.
And these are visuals from the parking area at the BCCI headquarters. That is Ajit Agarkar's car and the rest of the selectors as well. They have all entered the building. And the Indian cricket team on Instagram, on social media, also posted this picture. So the meeting is well underway. We're just waiting for the team announcement. We're waiting for the press conference. Hopefully, it will happen soon. By what Shamik is saying, it's going to take another half an hour or 45 minutes, and we'll finally have the team that we've all been waiting for. Let's take some comments here and continue interacting with our
Before
viewers. Yeah.
before before you go to the comment section, Gargi, one
Yes.
more thing. This is probably the most important selection meeting in Indian cricket's recent
Yes.
history. Usually, what we see before a series, you have you have 3-4 slots available. But this time around, you have to, with Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli retired, question mark on Bumrah's fitness that he will not play 5 tests. Shami, question mark on Shami's fitness. You will have a lot of areas to fill, at least yeah, at least 5, 6 places. So from that point of view, this is going to be one of the most important meeting. I can't remember whether in Indian cricket's recent history, such an important selection meeting has happened.
Yes, that was a note we started the show on. So this is one of the most important selection meetings that we have seen, we will witness. Apart from two two of the best batters that we have seen from India of this generation, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli retiring, you also have a sort of a dilemma with Jasprit Bumrah there. You've got a dilemma with the captaincy, with the vice captaincy, and the pace attack as well. Who will bat at number three? Who will bat at number four? Who will fill Virat Kohli's shoes? So there is so much going on at this moment. But yes, let's go to the comment section right now. M. Lachu is saying Ruturaj Gaikwad question mark. Bharat, do
See,
you
he's one of those fringe players. Not very sure of him. He was given chances in against Australia A, and he was consistently getting out to Delries outside off. So that might have convinced the selectors that is perhaps not that great. See, even if you look at his first class average, it is 39. It is something like just over 40. It's not like he's averaging 50, 55 to really knock at the doors of the selectors. Yes, he's one of those fringe players. When he's playing well, it depends on economy of movement. That is basically he moves forward just enough or moves back just enough. And when he's playing well, he looks good on the eye. He looks pleasing on the eye. It plays a lot of well-timed shots. But it's just one of those fringe players. It could be Rutraj Gaikwad, it could be Karun Nair or someone else. But if you ask me, among the younger lot, if you look at temperament, then I would take Sai Sudarshan, because I've seen him play in the Lip Trophy, I've seen him play in the Ranji Trophy, couple of quality knocks. I'm not saying the conditions in England would be exactly same. It could be somewhat different. Maybe rain would come around, there would be moisture, but it's certainly shown that kind of temperament against quality pace bowling. One of the examples that I already gave in a Dilip Trophy game where Prasidh Krishna went after him with a lot of hard length bowling, and he waded through that particular spell and scored 111. So I would say among the lots, Sai Sudarshan, Rutraj Gaikwad, and Karun Nair, Sai Sudarshan looks the best of the lot when it comes to temperament.
all right? Bharat, someone here is saying Rahul Bhakat is saying hope Kohli withdraws his retirement.
Uh, what do I have to say about it?
Sorry, I meant to go to Devashish.
Okay.
Yeah, Devashish, your
Huh?
thoughts?
He will be England only. He will be England only. So if he thinks so, if Gautam Gambhir feels so, let's get Virat to rethink about his retirement and perhaps bolster the batting, because yes, this looks like a very inexperienced batting. Means when was the last time that India toured England with such an inexperienced batting lineup? Means you have a new captain. Means in all probability you have a new vice captain, and obviously the most experienced batters is KL Rahul with 58 tests. So I think yes, England on the other hand, obviously they don't have the likes of Jensen, but still it will be very challenging. But it means but you know series like this, England, Australia, South Africa, make or break a career. Means obviously Shubman Gill, we a lot has been there is a lot of skepticism about Shubman Gill whether he will be successful. But if he comes out with flying colors, even if he manages to win at least 2 test matches, even if India goes on to lose the series and if India pulls up a couple of test wins, that will be a huge thing for Shubman Gill as a captain.
And Gargi, we have a
Yeah.
subplot to this Virat Kohli thing. I mean, as Devashi said, after the IPL, he would be heading to England, and he might be playing for Middlesex instead. In fact, I mean, the Middlesex is trying to persuade Kohli to play a few matches for them in the county championship. So he might be playing for, it's not yet certain, but he might be playing for Middlesex even. So just imagine Indian batting imploding in test matches, and on the other hand, Virat Kohli scoring centuries for Middlesex. It would be absolute cinema.
It would be absolute cinema. And we have some update from Naman who's on ground. Let's hear what he has to say.
Which BCCI secretary Devajit Saika came in, and then a bit later, their chief, one of the selectors, Devajit Banerjee also walked in from here. I'm at the BCCI premises, and then later a bit, Ajit Agar, the chief selector, Ajit Agarkar walked in. He parked his car right here, and then he walked inside the BCCI office for their discussion for the upcoming England tour, the selection, and then after which now the press conference will happen at around 1:30.
All right. So, oh, Shriyansh is asking who has the most expensive. What? We don't get into that. We'll talk about cricket, not cars. So Sarah Chandra here is saying, even though there will be cloud cover conditions in England, will T20 type bowling help India in England as England bat faster and make more mistakes? Arshdeep and Harshit is a good option then? Question mark. Shamik, why don't you take this question?
See, I have certain reservations about Harshit Rana because in England, what we see the off late their pattern is they no longer lay out. I mean, absolutely seamer friendly
Shamik, so
pitches.
sorry to interrupt you, but it seems like the meeting is done because Devajit Saikia has left the building and we have the visuals
Okay.
here as well. There we go. What does this mean, Shamik? If Devajit Saikia has left the building, it means the team is done and we'll
Yeah,
have
because
the press
I give
conference.
I give you the whole for our viewers. I give you the whole sequence. What happens in a
Yes.
selection meet? The secretary, the BCCI secretary, is the convener. He convenes the meeting, and once he doesn't interfere into the selection meeting discuss negotiations, but he sits there, and once the selection meeting is over and team list is put out and the squad list is put out, it requires his signature to ratify. Until and unless it is ratified by him through his signature, it is not official. So it suggests that Mr. Devajit Shraikia is leaving the building, which means the selection meeting is over.
So there we have it. These are our visuals of Devajit Saikia leaving the building. It means that the meeting is done, and we'll probably get the press conference and the team soon. So quite exciting how everything is going on. And yes, Shamik, back to this question. You were talking about Arshdeep Singh.
No, see, the fact of the matter is that Harshit Rana, I have certain reservations in the sense he is not a bowler who can bowl long spells. He, in his first spell, we have seen in Australia, in the first test in Perth, he was very good. But when in the second test he was needed to bowl second a longer spell to come back for his second spell and third spell, he ran out of gas. England of late are not producing absolutely seaming tracks or seam friendly or green tops. Although this series, given the brittleness of Indian batting, they might change that because this Indian batting, if the ball moves, this Indian batting on paper is a sitting duck. So they might change that, but off late their template is to prepare good batting pitches. We have seen that against Zimbabwe also, and they score around 450 runs a day, and they like to outbat their opposition. So from that point of view, if that is the case, Harshit Rana will have to bowl longer spells. Arshdeep Singh, we don't know. He is an unknown quantity in red ball cricket in the sense he hasn't played a test. He hasn't played test cricket yet. We don't know. So far, what we have seen. He is basically his length. I think he needs to alter his length a little bit to become a potent test bowler. But that might happen because we haven't seen him in red ball cricket much. But um, whatever whether it is Arshit Rana, whether it is Arshdeep Singh, whether it is Anshul Kamboj, whoever is your third seamer pick after Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj, given if Shami is not picked, then it's a very, very callow fast bowling lineup. It's a very callow fast bowling lineup, and you have a very callow captain to handle that. So you can imagine the degree of difficulty.
Absolutely. More questions coming in. Rupayan Guha Niyogi is asking, what about Shreyas Iyer? He has also scored runs in domestic cricket. Bharat?
The question was asked to you. Anyway, I will also add just a point to that thing about baseball, playing his baseball team. If you look at how England, Australia played against England in the 2023 Ashes, they kind of set, what can you see, in and out fields. That is something that India can do more than T20 bowling. They can kind of set defensive fields, in and out fields some at times, because anyway the opposition will try to go after you. Sometimes, if you have a couple of fielders in the team, that could help you to get a wicket or two. As far as Shai Sair is concerned, see, what to say? Yes, yes, done well in domestic. India perhaps need a little bit of experience, but in the 18 test matches that he played, he didn't really look good. He has only one test 100, and when he played away from home, it was not just a short ball. Remember that in South Africa, he was also troubled by full deliveries because he's mainly a back foot player, and they were troubling him with fuller length deliveries. At present, perhaps the Indian selectors are not really looking at him because perhaps they're not convinced that he can succeed in Sena Nations, rightly or wrongly. Because in the few test matches that he played in Sena, it was not just a short ball, it was also a moving ball that kind of troubled him in South African conditions. They were bowling really full, looking to get him LBW or bowled.
Gargi, I'm throwing a question to Devashish.
Okay.
No, it's a very simple question, Devashish. Devashish,
Okay.
who, according to you, should be India's third seamer? I'm giving you the choice, assuming that Shami is not there. If Shami is there, it is entirely different. But if Shami is not there, assuming that Shami is not there, who, according to you, India's third seamer after Bumrah and Siraj? I'm giving you four names: Akashdeep, uh, Arshdeep Singh, Mukesh Kumar. Five names actually: Mukesh Kumar, Harshit Rana, and Prashit Krishna. So, who, according to you, should be India's third seamer after Jasprit Bumrah and Mohammad Siraj?
Yeah, obviously, I would go with an Arshdeep Singh. Especially, he brings in that variation in that attack with his left arm swing, and obviously the conditions will favor his style of bowling. And I would rather go with Mukesh Kumar, because when it comes to swing, because he is not express quick. Um, Harshit Rana, yes, if you have to look upon someone bowling long spell, it has to be Harshit Rana. And four, it will be a touch and go, but I would rather pick Prashit Krishna. Prashit Krishna, because he has already been part of a tour to England. So these will be my four picks, apart from Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah.
Obviously, I add a point to it about Arshdeep Singh. The one thing that has gone against Arshdeep Singh in first class cricket is when the ball has stopped swinging in Ranji Trophy or in Dulip Trophy, it doesn't seem to have another weapon. I think that is his one problem. What exactly he has when the ball stops swinging. So if he comes in as first change bowler, that will be the key point for someone like Arshdeep Singh. If after 15 or 20 overs he comes in, or 15 overs or whatever, then if the ball stops swinging at some point, once the lacquer goes off, and or few overs if the Duke stops swinging, so what is his other weapon? If he can, maybe the selectors are not convinced about that particular aspect. Once he does that, I think he will be a different kind of bowler, because he's a very good swing bowler. He gets late moment, not that moment that you get it from the arm. His moment is very much late, but I think he has to improve when it comes to what exactly is his weapon when the ball stops swinging.
By the way, while leaving, Devjit Saikia had a message for the waiting hacks. It's the one-liner: "Go upstairs, the PC will start soon."
We have the visuals. Maybe we can get what he was saying. Just a second. It was really loud. I couldn't really catch what he was saying. Did any of you understand?
No, it's the voice was a bit garbled.
Yeah, it was the ambience was very very loud.
Yeah.
The sports fan again is bringing up Arshdeep Singh saying, "Do you see any left armour get a chance? Will it be a Khalil Ahmed or an Arshdeep Singh? Any of you? Whoever wants to
Uh,
answer."
oh, you answer, please.
Me? No, no, no.
Okay. So if you ask for my choice, Gagi, I would take Khalil Ahmed over Arshdeep Singh in red ball cricket because Khalil Ahmed has that couple of years of extra pace, right? He's also a left arm fast bowler. He has that couple of years of extra pace. He has been doing well. He looks to be in very good rhythm. Personally, personally, because see, um, the speed that this guy Arshdeep bowls, he can be neither here nor there. I'm not a big fan unless you are someone who prodigiously swing the ball. I am not someone of that dibbly dobbly stuff. Earlier in England, you have to keep in mind this is the early part of summer, and at least until the first week of July there would be some nip in the air because the summer in England comes in mid-July when the temperature rises to about 25-26 degrees, and they start calling we are under a heat wave at 25-26 degrees, and we face 42 degrees in our summer, so that is our winter basically. But then again, the early part of summer, there would be some nip in the air. Um, but Khalil Ahmed, my personal choice is Khalil Ahmed. And also, as far as the right arm bowler, Anshul Kamboj. Anshul Kamboj, I have seen him. I have seen him in domestic cricket, Ranji Trophy. I have seen him, and he can take the ball away from the right hander, which is a big which is a big plus. If you can take the ball, if you can swing the ball away from the right hander, it's a big plus, and looks a wicket taker, although he is also in that 130 to 135 range. Yes, Devashish.
I just have want to ask both of you, Bharat and Shomita, are we missing out on Yash there as a left arm quick because he was part of that? I mean, he was a reserve bowler in Australia series during BGT. So are we missing out on Yash there as a left arm quick? Means
um, Devashish, Jash Dayal was included into the test in the test setup during India's home series against Bangladesh. And I covered that series. He bowled a lot of deliveries at the nets. Maybe the team management was not convinced enough. That's why he was left out of the setup when India played against New Zealand, and then when India went to Australia. So it is about a lot of, it's a lot of thing depends on how you looks like at the nets because see, players are judged at test match level completely differently. It is completely different. It's a level above the first class cricket. And also, IPL is a white ball tournament. You cannot judge a bowler based on his IPL exploits. Uh, for example, take the case of Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Abhimanyu Ishwaran has scored a lorry load of runs in domestic cricket, right? But in 2021, you were there, Devashish. In 2021, during that COVID, he was part of the setup, but the team didn't have enough confidence in him to play. So KL had to open the innings, and KL then settled very nicely with Rohit Sharma. Same thing happened in Australia. He was the designated reserve opener, but the team management couldn't trust him, and that is why they tinkered. Even though Rohit was not playing all the matches, they tinkered with KL Rahul had to open because even after Rohit said that KL is now our designated number six. When Rohit was not there, KL had to open because the team couldn't trust Abhimanyu Ashwaran that he would be successful in Test cricket. I think the case is pretty similar with just Dayal also.
Also, a point to it about style.
Yeah.
Maybe the selectors what really went against him when he was selected for the Indian squad is with a red ball he doesn't really swing it back. With a white ball, I've seen it with a red ball from over the wicket, he doesn't really swing it back in the Dulip Trophy or in the Ranji Trophy. Whenever I've asked him, what he does is he balls from round the wicket, changes the angle, goes from round the wicket, and then looks to get the ball to come back in. Khalil Ahmad also does the same. He goes round the wicket and tries to get the ball to come back in. While Arshdeep Singh is someone who can swing it back from over the wicket against the right-hander. I think that is one thing that Arshdeep Singh has. Obviously, whether he can swing it for long periods, that is for the selectors to gauge. But Arshdeep Singh, because he swings it back, has that ability to get batters like Harry Brook and Joe Root out LBW, because both of them I saw in the last year when England were playing a Sri Lanka. Vishwa Fernando got a couple of in-swingers to come into Harry Brook and Joe Root and got them out. But Yash Dayal and Khalil Ahmed, both of them shift their angle, go round the wicket because they can't get the in-swinger going from over the wicket. Yes, you can say that from round the wicket, it's a different angle. It can help you as well. But if you ask any expert would say the left armers would have that in-swinger going. When you get that in-swinger going from over the wicket with that particular angle, then you are a different kind of bowler. That is something Arshdeep Singh at his best has or possesses that kind of skill. Arshdeep Singh.
Yes, there are lots of questions coming in. Lots of questions coming in. Shreyans Jain is asking what all happens in the BCCI building apart from meetings. Meetings can be done virtually. What is the need of real estate? I mean, come on, we all have an office, and don't you guys work better when everyone, the entire team is working in sync at the same place? I think that's the point of ever having an office. That's just what it is. But musical being one is also asking about Rishabh Pant. Pant averages 42 in tests with hundreds in three of Sena nations. All this talk of Gill being made captain is beyond me, as he averages 35 in tests. This question keeps cropping up again and again. Devashish, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, obviously, Pant is the X factor for this team when it comes to red ball cricket. Means ever since he made his debut, means obviously he has definitely, if he gets going, and he can change the complex of a game. Means as was the case, you were present at the MCG when was it MCG very last over against Australia.
Who?
Who?
Rishabh Pant I'm talking about. Was it or am I getting?
That 61 you are talking about?
Yes. When he played that rat shot and got out.
That
That
was
is
MCG.
MCG. That is stupid
MCG, yeah. So
prank
if we
from
can,
Sunil
Okay.
Gavaskar. Yeah.
if we can carve his flashy shots and be a little bit more disciplined, then Pant can score tons and tons of runs in this format. Means and the proof is that he has 9 scores in 90s. Means obviously if so, I think means you never know. Means obviously you don't look at his white ball format or IPL what he has done with LSG. With Gautam Gambhir at the helm, if he has the confidence of the coach and the team management, and give with an added responsibility of a vice captain, provided he is given that role, I think we can see a more matured Rishabh Pant in the coming days.
Absolutely. Absolutely. More questions. Um on captain, we've discussed so much, debated so much on the captain, on the captaincy slot. Okay, let's take this one. Saravanan is saying if Mohammad Shami is not considered, then after the first match we will be discussing the same things about how Bumrah is doing the heavy lifting, just like BGT. Don't judge Shami by IPL. Shamik?
Absolutely, I totally agree. And I am of the opinion that Shami should be part of
Acha,
the squad.
I have a breaking news. I have a
Yes, yes.
breaking. Shubman Gill is the captain. Rishabh Pant is the vice captain.
This is for the first time two players from North Zone, captain and vice captain. So a pattern has been broken.
Yes, Shamik, continue.
So we talk about Shubman Gill or Shami?
I think we should now talk about the
Shubman.
captaincy part.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I start with this is probably for the first time. Captain and vice captain both are from North Zone. It has probably never happened in Indian cricket, and I am very very surprised. Indian cricket, I would say, has come of age eventually. Um, but yes, it's a good choice, logical choice, and I agree with Devashish's observation that that extra bit of responsibility. And I absolutely don't read into what players are doing in this IPL in this 20-over format. I absolutely, he is a serious test cricketer. I mean, he in fact has a better pedigree than Shubman Gill to be considered as captain. So he's a serious test player, a match winner in test cricket. So from that point of view, I totally agree with Devashish that this added bit of responsibility might help him curb those flashy shots, those happy flower batting, and he will start putting a price tag on his wicket. But I have serious doubt over Shubman Gill because you have thrown him in at the deep end. Just imagine if if India lose the first two tests and Shubman Gill fail miserably, what will happen? Who will you turn to? Who will you turn to? You have taken a call. I understand you have taken a call with an eye to 2027.
Sorry to
This
interrupt you, but we have the announcement. We have the
yes,
squad here.
yeah. I
It's
also have the squad.
Shubman Gill is the captain, Rishabh Pant is the vice captain, Yashashvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul, Sai Sudarshan, Abhimanyu Iswaran, Karun Nair, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Ravindra Jadeja, Dhruv Jurel, Washington Sundar, Shardul Thakur, Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, Akashdeep Singh, Arshdeep Singh, and Kuldeep Yadav. So there we go. Some of the calls that were made, some of the things that were reported by Rev Sports have been accurate. First, let's start with Rishabh Pant vice captaincy. It was reported yesterday. This morning, it was reported that Shami is very unlikely to make the squad, and that is precisely what happened. And we also reported a Kuldeep Yadav comeback into the test team, which is also what has happened. First reactions to the team. Let's start with Devashish. Is this what you expected? This is actually exactly on the expected line. This
I,
is
I,
the
I would like to reiterate what I was mentioning in our previous live at 12 p.m. I was constantly telling that you need to have a specialist opener. Irrespective of if you play Abhimanyu Ishwaran or not, I'm not going by his record in domestic cricket or what he's going to do if given a chance or not. You need to have a specialist opener for a series in England, and that is what the selectors have done. They have kept a third opener in Abhimanyu Ishwaran, and that is a brilliant decision. And because it is paramount to have a specialist opener. And I'm also happy to see Karun Nair finally, and also Sai Sudarshan getting a nod. Means obviously Sai Sudarshan obviously get loads of runs he has scored, and also the fact that he has been the informed batter in IPL. Gargi, if you have give me your permission, I have to leave to and join the Bangla live.
yes. Give me a second. You can leave, of course. Shamik, first reaction.
See, I mean, the selectors have picked the squad sort of along the expected lines, but I mean, I have serious doubt. I mean, this team doesn't have the quality to win a test series in England. They might win the odd game, but this team absolutely doesn't have the quality to win a test series in England. Who is there? I mean, I don't see apart from maybe Jasassi Jaiswal, because he has that hunger. Although it is his first England tour, I don't see any other batsman who can score 500 runs in 5 tests. So, from that point of view, this team might win the odd game. England might have a bad game and they might win. But this team absolutely, this batting lineup, barring Bumrah and a bit of Siraj, this team doesn't have the bowling lineup to win a test series in England. Simple as that. Indian, this team reeks of mediocrity.
Wow, very, very harsh words there from Shamik. But it could very well be the reality as well. Bharat, what are your thoughts?
See, one has to remember these are young players, so you have to give them a long run before passing any judgment, because these are young players coming through the ranks. So you never know. After maybe another couple of years, some players might come through. So that's the main factor to look at. The likes of Nitish Reddy and all these young players, and they deserve a long run. Hopefully, with time, they will come good. Yes, there are a few question marks over the place. There are some echo was coming anyway. There are few question marks over that pace attack, lack of experience outside of Jasprit Bumrah. But I understand why they have not exactly gone for someone like Mohammad Shami, because he's not the bowler that he used to be. Somewhere perhaps they had to take a call, and they have done it. And I'm fine with this Arshdeep Singh getting in. I think is a good option against batters like Harry Brook and Joe Root. I have seen how Vishwa Fernando troubled them last year in the Test series between England and Sri Lanka. So his left arm angle, that little bit of late swing, could help the Indian team in getting those two key batters out. Yes, I actually wanted someone like Anshul Kamboj, but again I understand why Akash Deep gets in, because he bowled some decent spells in Australia, though maybe he could have bowled it a little fuller. But he beat the bat a lot, bowled reasonably well. Otherwise, I'm fine with this team. This is basically the team, that squad that I had told you a couple of days ago, the squad that I really wanted to. Barring one difference, I think I didn't really take up Abhimanyu Ishwaran's name, someone else's name. I taken up. That's the only one. Otherwise, both Arshdeep Singh, Prasidh Krishna, all these names I had taken. So I'm fine with this particular squad.
Boria Mujumdar also joins us. Boria, we had been reporting all the facts, all our sources, and it has all turned out to be very, very accurate from Rev Sports. We were talking about no Shami being very unlikely in the team. We were talking about a Kuldeep Yadav comeback. We were also talking about Rishabh Pant vice captaincy and also Shardul Thakur's inclusion in the team. So when it comes to all the calls, we Rev Sports have been reporting very accurately.
Yeah, firstly, let me break this down a little bit. First, good to see you guys. I mean, haven't been on the show for the last couple of days. It's still very gloomy morning in England. Hopefully, when the Indian team comes, it'll be much better. It's very, very gloomy and very dark, exactly like an English summer morning, supposedly summer. First things first, Mohammad Shami. Why no Mohammad Shami has to be broken down. The selectors were very clear that Mohammad Shami's body at this point in time cannot take a 15-16 overload, or they don't know about it. 4 overs in white ball cricket is no index for test cricket, and they were pretty much clear about it, that Mohammad Shami's body, and the question that I was, every time we've sort of tried to understand it, what we've been told is 15, 16 to 18 overs per day. Can Mohammad Shami do that? If Mohammad Shami's body is able to do that, there was even talk that let him go back to NCA. This is a long tour. We can add him later into the side. Don't close that option. Mohammad Shami might just be asked to go to the NCA, prove where his body is at this point. They do match simulations at the MCA. At the NCA, that's what I was told, that they do match simulations. And if his body kind of is able to do that, 15, 16, 18 overs, then the England tour is not over for Mohammad Shami one bit. So keep that in mind. Will he retire? A lot of people are asking. No. At this point, there's no question of Mohammad Shami retiring. At least I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that from Mohammad Shami or anybody close to him, that he wants to retire. Let him go to the NCA, prove the point that his body is up to it. Number two, we've been reporting about Shardul Thakur. The question is, who's your number 8? Who's your number 8 who gives you 25, 30 runs and gets you 2 wickets? Nitish Kumar Reddy, as a bowler, did not stand up in Australia. As a batter, did. And they, from what I understand, they are considering Nitish Kumar Reddy more as a batter than as a bowling all-rounder. That's why Shardul Thakur opens up. Great domestic season, 35 wickets, very, very good batting for Mumbai. Opens it up for Shardul Thakur. Karun Nair, Shomik Chakraborty will remember this. Shomik, I hope remember, Ajit Agarkar said, we've moved on from Shardul Thakur. No one moves on from
Yes.
anyone. No one moves on from anyone if you are able to perform. I'm delighted for Lord. I'm absolutely delighted for Lord. He went down the domestic route, broke down the barriers, opened up the doors again, and pushed his entry into the Indian side. That's what you need to do. And good call, sending him to England for the A tour. He will be in Canterbury. He will then be in Beckenham. He will be ready for the test tour and then move on. I see Shardul Thakur in the first 11. Let me give you my first 11 and then you guys can continue. Uh, One important call. I hope you guys have noticed no Harshit Rana. So anyone who comes and tells me Gautam Gambhir is running Indian cricket is not the case. This is a collective call. All of us know this. This is a collective call. Kuldeep Yadav is a selection call. Kuldeep Yadav coming back is a selectorial call. And again, we had reported this. Kuldeep Yadav, Gargi wrote a piece today morning as well. We've been writing yesterday Shubhan's copy, Shomik's copy. You guys remember we first said Shubman Gill captain. Ashdeep Singh will make it back. Every call, every single call has been right. Now let me kind of clarify two things. What is my first 11? Shubman Gill number 4. Now it's done. Sai Sudarshan number 3. Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul. 4. Number 5 Rishabh Pant. Number 6 Ravindra Jadeja. Number 7 Nitish Reddy. Number 8 Shardul Thakur. Number 9 Jasprit Bumrah. Number 10, here's the call, Mohammad Siraj. Who's the 11? Only catch is number 11 in Leeds. Had it been any other centre, I would have said go with Kuldeep Yadav. Who's your number 11 in Leeds? Early England, 20th June. Ball will nip, move, will be chance of rain. That's the only call that India has to take. Who is your number 11? Otherwise, you are set. Will you go in with an extra batter? Will you go in with an extra batter? Because you've got Jadeja, you've got Nitish Reddy, you've got Shardul Thakur who will give you 10, 12, 15 overs a day. You've got Bumrah, you've got Siraj. So there's your 5 bowlers there, right? There's your 5 bowlers there. I'm counting Nitish Reddy. Now, will you give an extra batter an opportunity here, somebody like a Karun Nair, to bolster your middle order, early England, extra batter? Or do you want to go in with another all-rounder like a Washington Sundar, who just gives you that buffer? Okay, he will bat bowl. But early England leads, will you want a Washington Sundar, or will you? That's the only call, Gargi, Shomik, Bharat, that I think India will want to check. Otherwise, I was listening to Bharat say, I think this is a good enough side. 2 surprises, Harshit Rana. Everybody thought Harshit Rana, Gautam Gambhir, etc. Selection, important, and very, very pleased for Shardul Thakur. Very, very pleased for Karun Nair. Very, very pleased. Obviously, very, very pleased for these 2 guys. Domestic cricket matters. You put your head in Ranji Trophy cricket, score runs, big runs, you will make it back.
I will pick it from there. I'll pick it up from there. I think obviously you play an extra batsman, because all your bravado like 6 batsmen, 5 bowlers, that should be out of the window now after New Zealand and Australia. There is you in England. You play for a draw. There is no harm in playing for a draw. If you get an opportunity, try to be pragmatic. If you get an opportunity, try to, if you get an inch, try to make it a yard. But you play for a draw. Don't take unnecessary chances. Don't take unnecessary chances. And if you don't go all out for a victory, because you don't have the quality to do that. Now, 2 more things. Ajit Agarkar has addressed the Shami issue at the press conference, and what this is what he said about Shami. He has had a little bit of a setback over the past week, got some MRIs done, wasn't going to be able to play 5 tests. Don't think his workload is where he needs to be. Medical guys told he will be ruled out. We were hoping he will play some part, but if he is not fit, we'd rather pick guys fit and available rather than waiting. This is what Ajit
So
Agarkar.
precisely what we said. The load
Exactly.
is not there. He is continuing to
Exactly.
play for his franchise, which is 4 overs. You cannot bowl 15, 16 overs. And by the way, this was reported by Rev Sports on 13th of May. 13th of May, word for word. Go check the copy. That Mohammad Shami's body at this point in time, 15 overs, 16 overs, 18 overs is not ready. What Shomik Chakraborty just read out is precisely that. Precisely that. By the way, Ajit has not said that the doors are closed on Shami. Not once. Not once. If I know right, Mohammad Shami needs to go back to NCA, get it right, get it right, show that his body is able to do what Test cricket needs him to do, 15, 16 overs, and he will be back. Don't rule him out. Don't rule him out just yet, because, or don't say his career is over, Mohammad Shami has to retire, etc., etc. No. The other call, Shomik, you are telling me that clearly now KL Rahul is your second wicketkeeper.
Yeah.
You are
Absolutely.
now also telling me that KL Rahul is your second wicketkeeper in Test match cricket. No Dhruv Jurel.
No, Dhruv Jurel, yes. But Dhruv Jurel is in the shadow squad. So they will, if there is an injury or anything,
No,
they
that's
will
fine.
have,
That's fine. I'm not saying
yeah.
that. All I'm saying is, at least in this team, the vision is
Mm.
clear. Rishabh Pant, your vice captain, so he's your number one option as wicketkeeper.
Yes,
KL Rahul
yes,
is your number two option because he's also there. And
right,
by the way, the call was between, let's also make this clear, KL Rahul and Rishabh Pant were the two candidates for vice captaincy. Till,
right,
I think, about 6 days back, Rishabh Pant wasn't even contacted. Till 6 days back, this was one unclear decision. Then Rishabh Pant was finalized. So Rishabh Pant, despite, by the way, clear again, IPL performances don't matter. When it
absolutely.
comes to red ball, IPL performances don't matter. Zilch. Rishabh Pant has had the worst IPL. He's India's vice captain. Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness for that, because he is your go-to test match player. By far the best test match batter that you've had in the last 4 5 years. So glad that Rishabh Pant has been given the responsibility of vice captain.
But I know I'm a little bit surprised, and you are a cricket historian, you would attest that this is for the first time Indian cricket has a captain and a vice captain from North Zone. This has never happened in Indian cricket before. So we might say that Indian cricket is coming of age or has come of age. We had in the past we had instances of captain and vice captain both from Bombay, Dilip Vengsarkar and Ravi Shastri, for example. But this is for maybe for the first time we have a captain and a vice captain both from North Zone.
Yes, and this is a first. Having said that, if you now see Indian cricket, it is no longer zonal. It is no longer about zonal. It is no longer that our selection committee will have to put in people from a particular zone. And it was around the 1990s when I will have 4 players or 3 players from south and 2 players from north and one from east. Honestly, Shomik, if I go through this team, I don't see there is a better candidate compared to Rishabh Pant as vice captain. Give me 1 second.
Meanwhile, while he joins, I also read out what Ajit Agarkar said about Shubman Gill's elevation.
Let's go. Yeah.
He said, we discussed every option that's there over the last year or so. We have looked at Shubman at various times, taken a lot of feedback from the dressing room. Very young, but there's been improvement. We are hopeful that he's the guy. He's a terrific player. Our best wishes to him.
Yeah, and also Ajit Agarkar also spoke about Mohammad Shami, if I'm not wrong, and said something like that there had been some MRI scans and
Yeah, yeah, that I
there
just
are
read
news
out.
and yeah, yeah, yeah.
He also spoke about Virat Kohli. He,
Yes.
he also spoke about Virat Kohli and Virat Kohli's retirement. He said Virat reached out to them in April, and this is exactly what he said. When guys like that retire, always big holes to fill. Ashwin also retired. Those three have been stalwarts. I mean, Rohit, Ashwin, and Virat.
Yeah.
Always difficult. One way of looking at it is opportunity for someone else. Had conversations with both of them, which means Virat and Rohit. Virat reached out early April. Uh, he same him given 200% every ball he plays, but he was not quite there. We respect the decision. It is his call. He clarified that it was his call. There was never any nudge.
Absolutely.
It
And
was always the case.
yeah,
Anyone who doesn't understand Indian cricket will talk nonsense and say Virat Kohli was not in the scheme of things. Complete bullshit. Virat Kohli was always, in the scheme of things, would have been the first name in that list. No one was taking Virat Kohli out. No one. Let's be clear on that. Virat Kohli would have 100% made the England tour. Anyone who is saying anything else is wrong. And we've clarified that many times when people said, "Arey, usko nikal diya, ye kiya, wo kiya," kuch nahi kiya. Virat Kohli wanted to give up on red ball cricket. He did. That's it. Yes, one of the reasons we have again said is that whole SOP and the family point, that will family travel with the player for 2.5 months. And believe me, it's isolating. I've lived in this country alone for many years, and I can tell you absolutely, this country can isolate you when there is no sun for days on end. It's gloomy, dark, rainy, and you have your family in England, by the way, and you are not able to have them together with you, have a young family. It is absolutely problematic for mental health. So I for example, understand. I totally understand where this is coming from. Totally understand where this is coming from. So make no mistake. I know where this call is coming from.
Absolutely. Lots of people in our comment section talking about why Sarfaraz Khan did not find an entry into the main squad. Bharat, we had, I had broken some visuals of Sarfaraz Khan preparing on green tops, batting on green tops with fresh cherries. But unfortunately, his name is not in that list. What do you think was the reason here? Just the fact that you've got a Sai Sudarshan, you've got an Abhimanyu Iswaran, and the rest ahead in the pecking order.
See, finally, you can only pick 15 or 16 players. So someone has to miss out, and few of them would miss out. Let it be Ashit Rana or Safraz Khan or Rutraj Gaikwad or whoever it is. So someone would miss out. So that has happened to Safraz Khan. Something about him that doesn't convince the selectors. Yes, he has got fitter. Maybe it's something to do with his game, because it's a very unorthodox game. See, if Safraz Khan has to be, if he has to be picked, then the selectors and the coach has to completely back him and tell, if you play a short first ball and get out, if you try to hit a six first ball and get out, then it's absolutely fine with us, because he has that kind of a very unorthodox game. So he needs that kind of coaching setup or selectors. I'm not saying he has to play that way, but that's his style. He's a very unorthodox player. So second or third ball, he might try to ramp a Woodland delivery which is coming into him over the keeper's head and get caught by the wicket keeper. Then the same fans would be going after him by saying, why did he play that kind of a flashy shot? But that's his game. So he needs that kind of a think tank. Needs that kind of a coach who will tell that we are fine with you if you go out and play at your natural game, and if you get out second ball caught at gully or caught by the wicket keeper while trying a ramp, you're absolutely fine with you. But perhaps this kind of coaching setup, the current Indian selectors don't exactly like that kind of a game. That is why that could be the reason, because he has got fitter. He's a very unorthodox player. He will hit a lot of shots square, behind square on the offside, or in front of square, through the offside or through the leg side. So that is where his scoring areas are. So you need a coaching setup which is comfortable with how he plays. Maybe the current setup is not very comfortable with how Safraz Khan approaches his batting in Test cricket.
One breaking news. One breaking news, that is Ajit
More
Agarkar
breaking
has
news.
Ajit Agarkar has confirmed. Ajit Agarkar has confirmed Jasprit Bumrah will not be available for all 5 tests. He said
Absolutely.
whether it is 4 or 3, we'll see based on how the series goes and his workload is.
Again, we got it spot on.
Yes.
This was a copy that was done. When did you do this copy, Gargi? You broke it down into 3
I'm
tests.
just, that's what I'm checking. I
Click out
have
the
the
copy and put it on the screen. That Jasprit
Just
Bumrah
doing
will
that.
play the first test. Jasprit Bumrah will play the second test. Jasprit Bumrah will not play Lords because it's a 3-day gap. Jasprit Bumrah will use that gap to get ready for Manchester, which is on the 23rd of July. And then Jasprit Bumrah will assess his body after the Manchester test match ends on the 27th of July, because the gap is 4 days between Manchester and Oval. That is when he will assess his body and decide whether or not he will play the final test match or not. That is the Jasprit Bumrah workload. Simple as that. No chance of Jasprit Bumrah playing 5 tests. And had he been playing 5 tests, Shomik Chakraborty, Bharat and Gargi will tell you he was India's captain. There would have been no debate
No
on
doubt.
captaincy had Jasprit Bumrah been playing 5 test matches. Simple as that. Simple as that. Just look at this copy. Why Jasprit Bumrah may not lead the team. May 8th. And it is also detailed out. You guys can check the copy. It is given which test matches, how the workload, exactly what Ajit Agarkar has said today. Take a look at this copy, which was done on the 8th of May. Shomik Chakraborty, Bharat Ramraj, Gargi Raut, excellent work. Shubhan Chakraborty, Rohit Juglan as well. I think Shubhan, yesterday's copy, Gargi's copy, Bharat's analysis, Shomik's points, Rohit's points. Rohit was the first one who told me, I remember 1.5, 2 months back, that Boriada Shubman is confirmed as captain. It is confirmed, Shubhan. But Rohit told me as captain. Gargi told me, Mohammad Shami, no. Mohammad Shami, no, because of this workload. Shomik came and told me, it is Rishabh Pant who is vice captain. I think he wrote a copy. Shomik Chakraborty wrote a copy about 7 days back, Rishabh Pant, vice captain, and went on and said that this is what is likely to happen. Kuldeep Yadav, we even went and asked Michael Clark the impact, because Kuldeep Yadav, we broke the story today again, we reconfirmed. Shardul Thakur, the day it was done, we had said Shardul Thakur is on that flight to England. By the way, I said Karun Nair also. If you see, I don't do news these days, but Karun Nair is another one that we had said that it's Karun Nair, not Sarfaraz Khan. Nitish Reddy, we know. Nitish Reddy, the selectors have told him more. They will want him to bowl, but more as a batter. More as a batter. Today morning, somebody asked me Washington Sundar or Kuldeep Yadav. I said both. I said Washington Sundar and Kuldeep Yadav, because they're not looking at Washington Sundar simply as a spinner, not just as a spinner. And Kuldeep Yadav, by the way, I can tell you now, Kuldeep Yadav is not going to play 5 test matches. If you see conditions in England, Kuldeep Yadav will not play 5 test matches. I see Kuldeep Yadav at Lords, where the ball will start to do something from day 3. I see Kuldeep Yadav at the Oval 100% in early August. I want to see Kuldeep Yadav also in Birmingham, because in Edgbaston the conditions might just suit Kuldeep Yadav. I don't see him play Leeds. I don't see him play North in Manchester. I don't. At this point, I'm in Oxford, which is what, 45 minutes from Birmingham, 45 minutes from London. This is the summer, and it has been pretty good weather. I've been told by locals it has been good, not that kind of rain. So we will have to see how things unfold over the next few days as the India A team comes to Canterbury. So far, the summer has been good here in England. We will see how it kind of pans out, and we will keep reporting every nuance and every detail. But let me ask you guys a few questions here. Shomik, are you happy with Rishabh Pant as vice captain, or would you have kind of considered KL Rahul? Then I will ask Bharat one and Gargi one.
No, very, very happy. In fact, I absolutely don't read into what he has been doing in the IPL. That is a completely different format, and Test cricket is Test cricket, and he is born to play Test cricket, Rishabh Pant. Now, the fact of the matter is that, in fact, on the face of it, he had better captaincy credentials than Shubman Gill, because he is a match winner in this format, and those fancy shots, that happy flower batting, I believe now with that added responsibility, he will put a curve on that, and that would augur well for the Indian team.
That's a very, very good answer. And I've always been a Rishabh Pant backer, because I absolutely believe it's he's the test match boy. He's the test match boy, not a T20 player. Not a T20 player, but a test match cricketer. And as a T20 cricketer, his only place, if I was Lucknow, I'm not Lucknow. If I was Lucknow, I would have put him at the top of the order with Mitchell Marsh. Taken Aiden Markram out. That has impacted the balance of that side. However many runs Aiden Markram might score. Rishabh Pant should have opened the innings with Mitchell Marsh, taken Aiden Markram out, put him down there. For example, think about it. If Cameron Green is up for grabs, will Lucknow go for it? They've got the money. If they release a couple of players, will they have the money to go for a Cameron Green? They will. So if you want a Cameron Green, would you play a Cameron Green ahead of an Aiden Markram? Yes, no. So Rishabh Pant could have been your option at the top of the order. So anyway, that's white ball. Not interested. Red ball cricket, Rishabh Pant is an absolute must. Somebody saying a humiliating whitewash is waiting. What tells you a whitewash is waiting, my friend? And what tells you that any other team would have preempted that whitewash? This kind of nonsense that, whitewash is waiting, so and so is waiting. We all know away tours are difficult. We also know that England has not beaten India in India for the longest time since 2012. What makes you say a whitewash is waiting when a team like this has just been announced? Would you have made a better team? Do you even have an answer to a better team than the selectors? When you come and make comments like idiots, it makes zero sense to me. This is about serious analysis. You have an alternative, come and tell us. You don't have an alternative, just shut up. You know, Bharat Ramraj, look at this pace bowling setup. Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, you have opted for Prasidh Krishna HTD ahead of Harshit Rana. Are you agreeable to that? Are you agreeable to that? Yes, no.
Yeah, kind of, because I think they have looked at current form.
One
One
second,
of
one
the
second, one second. Uh, you scapegoated Rishabh Pant. Rishabh Pant was singularly responsible for the MCG loss. I will call spade a spade whenever I want to. And by the way, it's not for Rohit, and I don't give a shit for an interview. Okay, Joydeel and whoever you are, you can get your facts right. Rishabh Pant at that point in time at the MCG, that shot was unwarranted. That shot was not warranted. Had Rishabh Pant stayed on for 10 more overs, that series would have been different. India would have gone into Sydney one apiece, and it could have been an absolutely different ball game. By the way, Lucknow, and you guys very well know it, Sanjeev Goenka is pretty close to me. I could have done 20 interviews of Rishabh Pant. I did not do any. So it's never about interviews. Interviews don't serve it. It's about news. It's about analysis. It's about what you believe in. So don't come and tell me Rishabh Pant this, that. You saved Rohit. And we were the first ones again to say Rohit Sharma does not deserve to be in that form. Continue. He could have opted out. So make no mistake about it, my friend. And scapegoated, not at all. Rishabh Pant was batting brilliantly at the MCG, had done the hard yards, done the 40 runs, batted when India needed him. That whole spell between lunch and tea, and then that stupid shot which Gavaskar used of Travis Head lost India that test match. We'll always say that. Hope you got your answer. Yes, Bharat.
Yeah, see, is echo coming somewhere? Okay.
No, it's not. Doesn't seem like
Okay,
it.
fine. See, I think they have gone with current form. One has to understand that Prasidh Krishna also took 6 wickets in his previous test. So, and the IPL, yes, some might say that why consider IPL, but to some extent, you have to see the present form. Prasidh Krishna was not offering any width. Harshit Rana was consistently offering width while playing for KKR. So they have gone with the present form, and the present form, Prasidh Krishna seems to have his bowling mechanics in the right order. It is for him to continue in that fashion. He's been bowling really well for Gujarat Titans. It's even if you look at it from a test match prism, the way he has been bowling, hitting the deck hard, getting a little bit of swing in the air when needed. So we have shown the test match skills that could help him to succeed in alien climbs. And if they could have only gone for one backup hit the deck pace bowler. Obviously, Jasprit Bumrah does it. He does all the things, including hitting the deck hard. They could have only gone for one hit the deck backup option in English conditions, and that came down to Harshit Rana versus Prasidh Krishna. And clearly, in my humble opinion, Prasidh Krishna is in better form. His bowling mechanics seem to be in better order. And his temperament, at least in this IPL, has been good. Again, I'm saying that he has to continue on that vein. Suddenly, going to England, if he has one bad match and he suddenly starts to go back to the old days when the boundary or two would have resulted in Prasidh Krishna losing the plot, then it would be bad news for the Indian team. But at least for now, he's shown some good temperament. So out of the two, I would have also gone for him. But I also wanted to add a point. Someone was talking about whitewash, England whitewashing India. One has to remember that this is not a ruthless England test side. Yes, I understand the Andrew Strauss led side that thumped India 4-0 in 2011. That was a very ruthless test side, perhaps England's greatest test side, that one 2011, since 1954-55 when Len Hutton won all those games in New Zealand and Australia. But this side has a tendency to drop a test or two at least. Sri Lanka also won a test match against England last year. With the pace attack that was not great on paper, at least. Vishwa Fernando, Asita Fernando are not exactly household names. So if Sri Lanka can win at least a test, then maybe India also will be hoping to win a test or two.
Totally, yes. And by the way, England is as fragile. That's what Bharat is referring to. If Jasprit Bumrah has a Perth kind of spell, don't rule it out in Leeds that Jasprit Bumrah runs through that England side. That's something that don't rule that out. Not for once are we saying that this Indian side will win the Test series in England. No one's a fool here. Having said that, to say whitewash, having said that, to say this, that, no. I do see India competing in at least. By the way, Birmingham will be a batting wicket. I envisage Lords to also be decent after day one and day two. It will depend a bit on the weather. Oval will certainly be a reasonably good batting deck because it's late July, early August. By that time, worn out summer. This country, a lot will depend on the weather. So far, pretty hot summer here, by the way. Pretty hot summer. Early May temperatures, mid May temperatures are already around 20 degrees. 20 degrees is pretty high for an English summer, huh? Pretty high. Even the low is around 17, 18. Day before yesterday was 6, 7, but at an average, it has been a pretty high summer weather wise. So, according to me, Leeds can be a Jasprit Bumrah test match because that wicket should help India, as in the faster bowlers. According to me, India will certainly be competitive in two, if not one. So, my answer, England might win, or England is favored to win, but don't rule it past India to see at least one or two test matches where India stays very competitive and wins. That's my assessment objectively. Objectively. Low expectations. This question by Joy Neal is good. Low expectations like the 14-15 Australian tour, and all of a sudden we had a Virat Kohli take the cricket world by storm and redefine Indian cricket with a fresh approach and a fresh beginning. That's what I want to see in England, Gargi Raut. It's a tour you will cover. What are your expectations from this test side? It is one of the most important series in the history of Indian cricket and also the start of the WTC.
Look, when you look at this series, and oh, there's an echo. Just a second, muting everyone. Yeah, when you look at this series, you zoom out and you look at the series, you look at the larger perspective. You look at the fact that the test team is coming from a New Zealand, a Bangladesh, and an Australia, and a horrendous Australia series. When you take all of that into consideration and in context, you realize with the new WTC cycle starting, this is one of the biggest transitions that Indian cricket team has ever made in Test cricket. Shubman Gill, a new captain, very very young, leading also a fairly inexperienced side. Now you have a Jasprit Bumrah in the dressing room. You have a KL Rahul, but apart from that, and a Ravindra Jadeja as well. But apart from that, where is the experience? You have not lost, but Rohit Sharma, your skipper, announced his retirement. Virat Kohli announced his retirement. Two of your biggest names when it comes to brand, when it comes to batting, or whatever you want to call it, especially when it comes to the expertise arena, experience arena, you have lost two biggest names in that dressing room. Apart from that, look at the transition that is happening. Jasprit Bumrah could have been your sure shot captain, but unfortunately, Jasprit Bumrah is not at a place where he can play 5 test matches on a trot, or that he can, play every single game in this WTC cycle. So that brings you at a place where, this selection must have been very, very difficult for the selectors. This must have been one of the most difficult teams or squads to select. So when you look at all of this in perspective, you realize how important this series is, and especially after losing the WTC final spot in the last cycle, and in a horrendous way, this becomes that much more important. Now Joy Neal is very right when he's saying that this is a sort of a low expectation series. You shouldn't go in expecting that India is going to win 3 or 4 test matches. That is not something we're expecting, and that would be very unrealistic. You've got to be very pragmatic with this side as well, and you have to support the players at this point. But at the same time, do not underestimate. This is an Indian team, and when you talk about Indian cricket, remember that this is the creme de la creme. Even though some of these players will be do not have much international experience in Test cricket, they are still the best from a country that has 1.4 billion population. So you also have to remember that even though they are inexperienced, they are still one of the best from the country that you could have possibly picked. So do not underestimate, but also do not have too high expectations. That's what I would say.
I think I think in 15 minutes we will close the show. So let's kind of start wrapping up. So Shomik Chakraborty, you see Abhimanyu Ishwaran debuting, has been around the fringes for a long time. Yes, it will be Yashasvi Jaiswal, KL Rahul to start, but once again, you have him in the mix. 5 test matches, long tour. Abhimanyu Ishwaran will captain the A side, depends how he performs there. First match in Canterbury, second one in Northampton, and the third one will be at Beckenham. Beckenham, by the way, is close to London. It's Greater London area. That's where it is. That's where Beckenham is. So Canterbury, expect expect the ball to do something. Northampton, and then the third one is Beckenham. Abhimanyu Ishwaran, Shomik Chakraborty, do you see him debuting or you say no?
I have my doubts. I mean, you couldn't play him in 2021 during COVID. You had to promote KL Rahul as an opener to pair up with Rohit in that England series. You couldn't play him in Australia in 2024-25, despite he being your designated reserve opener. Once again, you had to promote KL up the order to pair up, even when Rohit Sharma didn't play all the test matches. So I have my doubts. It is one of the selections. It is one of the selections which is very typical of Indian cricket. And I think if there is an opening crisis, they might promote Sai Sudarshan if someone unfortunately picks up an injury or something or loses form completely. They would rather prefer to bring Sai Sudarshan to open the innings rather than going with Abhimanyu. Um, uh, Given what we have seen in the past, I don't see Abhimanyu getting a game.
Bharat, you agree with that? Abhimanyu Ishwaran around the team for the longest time, keeps traveling as your backup opener, never gets a game. Quite unfortunate that Subroto Banerjee, speaking to Rashesh and some of the other reporters, all of these reporters out there, it was one of those most interesting team selections for a long time. By the way, Subroto Banerjee, Ajit Agarkar, and all of them wishing Sachin Tendulkar a 30th wedding anniversary. All of them will head there for Sachin's this thing in Mumbai. There's Ajit Agarkar, visual sent by Naman Suri and Prakash Jha, reporting from the cricket center in Mumbai. Ajit Agarkar, Subroto Banerjee, and the rest of the selectors. That's the other selectors walking out. Shiv Sundar Das, Ajit Agarkar, all of the other Subroto Banerjee. Bharat Ramraj, your thoughts? Thoughts on Abhimanyu Ishwaran before I kind of move on to the middle order?
Yeah, see, the thing is, uh, the point is he has to. Some echo is coming. Anyway, the point is he has to, I think, impress in those A fixtures, A games. That might help Abhimanyu Iswaran. If, for example, KL Rahul or especially KL Rahul, someone else doesn't perform in the top order, even Sai Sudarshan doesn't perform at the top of the order, then Abhimanyu Iswaran might get into top three somewhere. So I think that's his best chance because against Australia A, he struggled against bowlers who were mainly bowling 135 kilometers per hour, like Buckingham and all these guys. These guys were not bowling quick, so Eastwaran struggled. That might have played a role in the selectors not having the greatest of opinion about him, though they have selected him. So the A game is coming up against England Lions. They have a couple of good pace bowlers. Sam Baker is there. Chris Wokes will be playing. So he will be up against a couple of decent bowlers out there. So if he impresses, then the selectors might look at him maybe in the third or fourth test if someone is failing in the top order.
That's the point about Abhimanyu Ishwaran. Let me go to Gargi Raut on Karun Nair. Do you see Karun Nair make it back in Test cricket? By the way, the last time Karun Nair played a Test match, Gargi Raut, he scored a 300.
Yeah. Can we have something like that once more, please, Karun?
Never,
But that
but that's amazing, huh? Shomik Bharat Gargi. Last time the guy scores a 300, then gets dropped, and now makes a comeback after whatever God knows how many years. But that's what domestic cricket performances can do for you. But do you see Karun Nair playing a Test match? Do you see a spot for him if something goes wrong?
it's quite difficult to see Karun Nair slotting in at the very beginning because we have discussed the batting lineup pretty much, and we know that it's we know what the likely top five are going to be. It's going to be KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sai Sudarshan at number three, Shubman Gill at number four, and then Rishabh Pant, and then come in your all rounders Nitish Kumar Reddy and Shardul Thakur. So when you look at that lineup, you see that there is a bit of a tight spot for Karun Nair to slot in. But at the same time, if someone like a Sai Sudarshan does not perform, maybe you could see a Karun Nair come in. But that's largely, it largely depends on how the conditions are and what the captains and the management thinks at the end. But at this point, I don't see Karun Nair coming in the first, at least first two matches.
Yeah, and domestic cricket. I mean, he did play in 17 against Australia, as Joy Neal corrects it. But I do see Karun Nair. See, 5 Test matches over a 2 month period in England can be very draining. If someone starts to underperform and confidence starts to drip in a team which is very relatively inexperienced, then it becomes a massive problem. Sai Sudarshan, for example, we are all building up Sai Sudarshan as if he's ready for Test cricket. Don't forget, he's not played anything. All he's done is gone with India A to Australia, and even India A wasn't incredibly successful. He looked okay. The fellow has tremendous talent. According to me, he is the future. But England is one of those toughest tours. Virat Kohli, 134 runs of 10 innings in 2014. 2011, I don't. Shomik, were you there in 2011? I mean, every day we would
Yes.
turn up for the series. Every day
Yes.
Shomik was there. Every day we would turn up expecting India would fight. And every day we would go back thinking, what the hell is going on? 3.5 days game done. 3.5 days game over. Gautam Gambhir, even Sachin Tendulkar wasn't able to do much. That entire Indian side, except Rahul Dravid, who scored those 300s, and it was his series, no one else put their hand up in the batting department. And the Test series just went downhill. Such a Test series is so agonizingly painful to cover. So Karun Nair hopefully will get a game. Let's take first teams. Let's take first teams from all of you. Why don't you start, Bharat Ramraj? Your first 11. Yes, I know it's still difficult. There are A-team games, etc. Having seen this team, you follow English cricket as much as I do. Leeds early summer, 20th June. First impressions. I know it can change. First impressions. What is your first 11?
Yeah, first of all, it depends on the weather. There could be rain around, there could be moisture around. Then suddenly, you think of having a different side. Otherwise, I will look at Jaiswal at the top, KL Rahul at the top, Sai Sudarshan at 3, Gill at 4, Pant at 5. I'm looking at Nitish Reddy at 6, Jadeja at 7. Shardul Thakur at 8, Siraj and Bumrah. The final slot is a very difficult one to think of whether if it is a little bit of grass in it. It is a toss up between, I think, the left arm angle of Arshdeep Singh, because I seriously believe he has a chance against Harry Brook and Joe Root, depending on how those two played against Vishwa Fernando of Sri Lanka. And Prasidh Krishna. I think out of these two, I will be thinking of one. I'm not very sure present who it is at the last 11 spot.
Gargi, can you play the Sai Sudarshan comment on the show as I go to Shomik Chakraborty and take his first team? Shomik, your first 11 for Leeds as Gargi gets that ready, and then I'll go to.
My as for my first 11, in fact, for Leeds, I will load my squad. I will load my first 11 with batsmen and will play for a draw. If there is an opportunity, if England give you an inch, I will try to get a yard, but I will load my squad with 7 batsmen, and the my three bowlers would be Bumrah, Siraj, Shah. My 4 bowlers, sorry, my 4 bowlers would be Bumrah, Siraj, Shardul, and Washington Sundar, and the rest 7 batsmen, including Nitish Kumar Reddy. Opening combination, we all know KL and Jasasi. Number 3, Sai Sudarshan. Number 4, Shubman. Then 5, Rishabh, and then so on, Ravindra Jadeja and others. But 7-4 combination, and even in that bowling pack, I will have 2 players who can. I mean, Washington Sundar is basically a batting all rounder, and Shardul is also a very capable batsman. I will play for a draw.
What about you, Gargi? Your first 11?
Okay, my first 11 is KL Rahul, Yashasvi Jaiswal, Sai Sudarshan, Shubman Gill, Shubman Gill, then number 5, Rishabh Pant, Nitish Kumar Reddy, Shardul Thakur. Oh, now it gets quite interesting. You would Kuldeep Yadav, Jasprit Bumrah, and I am tempted to play Arshdeep Singh. I will be tempted to play Arshdeep Singh in the first match. Is there 11? I think there is.
Yeah, I quite agree. I quite agree with all my colleagues. I don't see a spinner. I don't see a spinner in the first game, at least in Leeds, unless the next 2.5 3 weeks, and we'll report to you every day. We will report to you every day if it's kind of getting very hot or whatever. Unless it's a very unreal kind of weather, next 2.5 weeks, no rain, only heat, only heat. Then you might think of it. But Leeds, I don't see a spinner. So I kind of agree with the lineup that was just mentioned by Shomik. Said draw. I don't think there's a draw. I don't think there's a draw. It might just get over in 4 days or whatever. Test matches don't see draws these days. At least the first match of the series, absolutely not, unless there is weather intervention. So I do see a result, and I do see India surprising England if they can, because Jasprit Bumrah will be fresh. Jasprit Bumrah will be fresh. They would come out of a decent outing, 3 warm-up kind of games for the A team, and then the intra-squad match in Beckenham. Then about 5 6 days. I think the Beckenham game is 13, 14, 15, 16. So the team will travel to Leeds on the 16th. So you still have 4 days. You'll have good rest. I do see India being competitive out there. I do see India being competitive. And who knows? England doing too much of baseball, what happens there? But this will be one heck of a series. One heck of a series, folks. We'll be back at 5 o'clock. What is it now? 2:30 p.m. in India, 10 o'clock here in the UK. We will be back at 5 o'clock, my time, 12:30, India time, 5 o'clock. We'll break it down. We will individually break this team down, rate our chances. All my colleagues will be back. Shomik Chakraborty, Bharat Ramraj, Gargi Raut, myself, and we will also get the others to join us. Gautam Gambhir's acid test, lost New Zealand, lost Australia. If he loses England, pressure will mount. No question. No question. You know, absolutely no question that Gautam Gambhir will be under the cosh in England. If he pulls it off, it will be one of the greatest wins in the history of Indian cricket. Even if he wins a couple of test matches as head coach, it will still be fantastic. Even if he wins one and India loses two or three, it'll still be okay. But if India goes down four, Naman Suri, quick comment. You've been covering, sending us all the visuals. The selectors have just left. Your quick thoughts. Yes, please. Over to you.
So yes, like you said, the selectors, everyone in the committee has just left. Uh, Ajit Agarkar and Subhajit Banerjee left together, I believe, for some events.
Subrata
And
Banerjee.
yes, Subhajit Banerjee. And then earlier, sorry, I couldn't hear you, so I just pronounced what came into my
Subroto.
Subrata Banerjee. Subrata
Subrata.
Banerjee.
Sorry, Shubroto Banerjee. And earlier before that, another member also left. I think I don't remember the name, but yes, everyone has left
Ajay
by now.
Ratra. Ajay Ratra, Naman. Ajay Ratra.
Okay, okay, Ajay.
Ajay.
Okay, and everyone has left the building at this point in time. And like you said, the squad is out, and it's a big news. A new era in Indian Test cricket. Shubman Gill will be leading now alongside Rishabh Pant. K. Rahul will be given the free rein to bat where he is supposed. I mean, if he's supposed to bat opening, then I believe he will be batting as an opener, and that is the story now that Shubman Gill is the new Test captain heading into the new World Test Championship cycle.
On that note, let's close the show. 5 o'clock, we will be back. But what a day for Indian cricket. New start in red ball cricket. Massive tour coming up. Yes, the IPL is there, but who cares? When it's test match cricket, IPL will have to fade in comparison, because this is ultimately India. This is ultimately India. And this is where it gets interesting. Will Devashish be on the visuals? 100% he will be, Joinil. Devashish will 100% be on the visuals. Make no mistake. How can you not have Devashish Sen on the visuals when you have a tour like this? But yes, Bharat Ramraj, Shomik Chakraborty, Naman Suri, Gargi Raut, everybody watching.
We
Thank
have
you
the
very
Sai
much. Back
video.
at 5 p.m. Yes, please.
We have the Sai video.
Oh, you have the clip. Can you play that? Sai Sudarshan, ladies and gentlemen, on his India dreams about to be fulfilled.
Shubman Gill. You and Shubman have now forged a partnership.
Oh no, this is the one on where he talks about Shubman Gill as the captain.
Okay, then you play it at 5 p.m. Not an issue. You play it at 5 p.m. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching.